There is a phrase in the Zulu language that says, Umuntu, Ubuntu, Ngabantu. I am because we are. Think about it. I'm not defined without you.
We are part of everything, and everything is a part of us. We are human only through the humanity of others. I am because we are. Ubuntu.
The spirit of Ubuntu whispers in our ears, reminding us that hand in hand, we conquer our most successful battles. Ubuntu inspired and guided African leaders of all times. And looking back, we can still learn from our founding fathers.
The forefathers and leaders of various African nations played crucial roles in achieving independence, building prosperous nations, and promoting unity and cooperation.
This decade is the decade of African independence. Forward then to independence now. Tomorrow, the United States of Africa.
Ghana's first Prime Minister and President, Kwame Nkrumah, strongly advocated for African unity and solidarity, the basis of Pan-Africanism. He had a key role in forming the Organization of African Unity, today African Union. In his book, I Speak of Freedom, Nkrumah wrote, "Divided, we are weak. United, Africa could become one of the greatest forces for good in the world."
It is good that you are here to record this picture of me in my palace garden at Addis Ababa. People who see this throughout the world will realize that even in the 20th century, with faith, courage, and a just cause, David will still beat Goliath.
The Emperor of Ethiopia, Haile Selassie, the Rastafari, also a significant member of the Pan-African movement, hosted the first meeting of the Organization of African Unity in 1963 and became its first president. The idea of one Africa, diverse, however united and strong, spread all over the continent. Kenya's first president, Jomo Kenyatta, a key figure in the country's struggle for independence, as well as Leopoldo Sedar Senghor, leader of the Negritude literary movement and the first president of independent Senegal, were also among the 32 heads of independent states who signed the institution of the Organization of African Unity. The Founding Fathers believed that collaboration was the only way for Africans to achieve prosperity and peace. Peace, healing and prosperity was also what Germany needed after years of division and its final reunification in 1990. Although President Richard von Weizsäcker was quintessentially German, the principles he upheld and the actions he took during his presidency demonstrated an ethos closely aligned with the African philosophy of Ubuntu. His presidency was marked by a profound spirit of reconciliation, forgiveness and understanding, values very much in line with Ubuntu spirit. In his famous speech on the 40th anniversary of the end of the Second World War in Europe, he called for Germans to face the dark chapters of their past openly, honestly.
Wir dürfen den 8. Mai 1945 nicht vom 30. Januar 1933 trennen.
Richard von Weizsäcker appealed to the new generations to respect all life with compassion and forgiveness, so they wouldn't repeat the barbarity of the Holocaust.
Die Bitte an die jungen Menschen lautet: Lassen Sie sich nicht hineintreiben in Feindschaft und Hass gegen andere Menschen, gegen Russen oder Amerikaner. gegen Juden oder gegen Türken, gegen Alternative oder gegen Konservative, gegen Schwarz oder gegen Weiß. Lernen Sie, miteinander zu leben, nicht gegeneinander. Lassen Sie auch uns als demokratisch gewählte Politiker dies immer wieder beherzigen und ein Beispiel geben.
The young Germans from both sides of the wall who saw it come down in the 80s not only had to learn to reconcile and embrace each other, but had to find new heroes under the painful ashes of war. And the story of siblings Sophia and Hans Scholl couldn't be more inspiring. Brave young students at the University of Munich, they were convicted of high treason and executed by the Nazis in 1943. Sophia and Hans were active political members of the White Rose, a non-violent resistance group in Nazi Germany. Their method of opposition was disarmingly simple, but impactful: words. They distributed millions of leaflets with anti-Nazi manifests in Munich and cities nearby. They are the moral example that not all Germans were silent collaborators. In their fourth manifest, they wrote, "We will not be silent. We are your bad conscience. The White Rose will not leave you in peace." The Scholl siblings are still honored for their courage. There are movies and many books telling their story.
Geboren am 9.5.1921 in Feuchtenberg, 21 Jahre.
The names adorn schools in nearly every German city, public squares and streets across the country. A prize bearing their name is among Germany's most distinguished literature awards. And it had to be literature. Sophie and Hans used only words against tyranny. Words can change the world. If it weren't for that, dictators wouldn't order the burning of books and entire libraries.
But you see, this life can be so hard sometimes. A modern father died in just one night.
In modern Africa, the power of words in music flows is also mobilizing the young. This multifaceted Zambian artist known as B-Flow is a loud voice against political violence and oppression. He is also the founder of the initiative called Music for Change. In 2016, the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, honored B-Flow by naming him one of the 16 global voices advocating against gender-based violence. B-Flow has used his voice, popularity and music to denounce violence against women and has been supportive of women's fights all over the continent.
I would call myself the voice for the voiceless. One of the messages that I really wanted to highlight was the plight of a woman, because I saw the struggles of my own mother.
In Africa's ongoing struggle for social justice, a fresh generation emerges, with women taking the helm, championing environmental projects and civil rights movements, fostering peace and nurturing democracy. From Côte d'Ivoire, grassroots leader Aya Virginie Touré emerges as a beacon of the women, peace and security movement that sweeps across West Africa. Meanwhile, in Senegal, Aïssata Tall Sall, now the esteemed Minister of Foreign Affairs, dared to defy the conventional exclusion of women from the political arena. Her audacious spirit finds an echo in the youthful fervor of Farida Naborema, a formidable advocate for democracy in Togo. A civil rights activist, blogger, and author since her tender teenage years, Farida now lives the life of a nomad, traversing borders after threats endangered her existence in her homeland.
Our comrades are being tortured. And the strength of Togolese women who started this right from the beginning, and I know that we cannot give up, because giving up is an act of treason to those who have sacrificed themselves for us. So the people of Togo are having a revolution, and I call it an anti-civilized.
In Tunisia, Lina Ben-Meni's name still resounds as the fearless human rights activist, blogger, and journalist. Her on-the-ground reporting during the Tunisian Revolution catapulted her to international prominence. Through her blog, A Tunisian Girl, she chronicled the government's human rights abuses. Unfortunately, she succumbed to complications from an autoimmune disease. The collective narratives of these women demonstrate the profound impact that an unwavering commitment to social justice can have on society, instigating change and making a tangible difference in people's lives.
As the first African woman to receive this prize, I accept it on behalf of the people of Kenya and Africa, and indeed the whole world.
Wangari Maathai, Kenya's Nobel Peace Prize winner, made such a difference that her bravery still echoes in Africa's forests.
Tree planting became a natural choice to address some of the initial basic needs identified by women.
In 1977, she created the Green Belt Movement, a grassroots, non-governmental organization focusing on environmental conservation, community development, and capacity building. Since then, many projects flourished in Africa. As our forefathers taught 6 decades ago, when countries' boundaries disappear and people and governments collaborate, success follows.
For centuries, the Nile River has nurtured millions of African lives, cultures, and ecosystems. It's the longest river in the world. It shaped the history and cartography of 11 countries. Unfortunately, there is not one single grassroots association that unites the Nile countries. That's why we prototyped and created the Nile Journeys, inspired by our ancient wisdom, Ubuntu. We are committed to restoring our land.
To end desertification and restore forest areas, the governments of Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana and 36 leading cocoa and chocolate companies joined the Cocoa and Forests Initiative since 2017. Mixing forest and cocoa trees, they restore ecosystems and provide farmers with alternative income sources.
On nous a formé comment faut planter des gombo et on a reçu une formation. Après la formation, on nous a réunis, on nous a donné encore les engrais, les dabas, arrosoirs, les machines pour pulvériser les herbes nous ont aidés. Et c'est ce que nous avons fait pour travailler. Et ces grains de gombo aussi vraiment nous a aidés.
Since the program began, 20.7 million trees have been planted. Dar Ch Mad, a women-led NGO in Morocco, designed and installed the world's most extensive operational fog water harvesting system. It is an innovative solution to persistent water stress where fog is abundant, a technique inspired by ancient water practices. The Dar Ch Mad project provides accessible potable water to more than 400 people in 5 villages, primarily women and children.
We need to treat our planet with a different sense of ethics.
The project wouldn't be possible without the funding and support from 52 local and international partners, including Germany's Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, and Munich Re Foundation, From Knowledge to Action. This beautiful tapestry of leaders, communities, grassroots, and people reveals that our struggles, dreams, and hopes are intricately linked. Each story weaves into the next, reflecting the Ubuntu philosophy. I am because we are. Their courage, determination, and commitment to a better future inspire countless others to join the fight for justice, peace, and equality, reminding us that change is possible and that we all have a role in shaping the world we want to live in. However, there is no way to advance alone. This is a journey to travel hand in hand, together, in collaboration with each other.
I am because we are. Think about it.